Worries, doubts, and anxieties are a normal part of life. It's natural to worry about an upcoming exam, a university assignment, a job interview, etc. But when you start worrying about things excessively, and that feeling takes control of your mind, it negatively affects your day-to-day life. It's like you worry every day about what ifs and worst case scenarios, and you can't get anxious thoughts out of your head. I used to do this quite often and had a lot of days where I constantly thought about my worries and couldn't be productive at all for days. I think we all agree that if we could worry about fewer things and focus on what really matters to us, then we can develop ourselves further in life. So I started to think about how to manage my old and bad habit of worrying excessively about things and started to live my life. Then I came up with two simple perspectives and an action that I took which helped me with my tendency of worrying too much. As we all know, it's impossible to completely eliminate worries and anxieties from your life. However, I'm sure we can control these aspects and enjoy our precious lives a bit better. So without further ado, here's how I stopped worrying and started living. Number 1. What's the worst thing that could happen to you? I think we tend to care too much about things that are going on around us on a daily basis. Okay, caring about things is not a bad thing. At the end of the day, we consistently care about something. Oh God, I don't have anything to eat. Oh, I haven't started my assignment yet. Oh God, there's nothing fun on TV. What the heck? But we need to choose what we truly care about and get rid of the unnecessary worries in our lives. The worry that I had recently was about my new job. I moved back to Japan last September after living in New Zealand for the past 8 years. I moved into my new apartment 2 weeks before my new work started, and everything seemed pretty smooth, like my mum and sister helped me move in and set things up nicely. However, once they left and I got this apartment all to myself, I started to worry about whether or not I would get along well with my colleagues and co-workers, or I would fit into the Japanese working culture and things like that. I could notice that I started to feel very uncomfortable, so one day I sat here and started to write down the worst things that could possibly happen to me, and here's what I thought about. Getting bullied from my colleagues, getting ignored by my coworkers, being terrible at my job and getting told off consistently at work. I cannot understand anything about what I do at work so that I will get fired. Always working until 10 or 11 p.m. every day. And I thought that there were only 5 terrible scenarios that could happen. And I thought that it's not like I'm going to die, so it can't be that bad. Also, I thought that these 5 possible terrible things that could potentially happen were not as bad as some of my past experiences. I started studying abroad in New Zealand when I was 15, and I couldn't properly communicate with anyone in English for many months. So all of a sudden, the worries that I had for my new job seemed so insignificant, so that I felt better. Number 2, prepare yourself to accept the worst scenario if necessary. After recognizing these 5 bad possible cases, I started to prepare myself to accept the fact that any of these could happen to me. Then I promised myself that I would try my best for this job for a month at least, no matter what would happen. And guess what? Nothing bad happened after I started working, and because I thought about the worst possible cases beforehand, I felt that everything was better than I expected. It turned out that my colleagues and co-workers are amazing. I've been able to finish working at 5 p.m. almost every day. I always ask them many questions, but they're always patient with me and answer my questions kindly. Maybe some people think something like this is normal, but for a guy like myself that previously thought about the worst scenarios, I became way happier than I probably should have been. So here's the perspective that I came up with when I tried to prepare myself to accept what might happen in the future. I imagined being in a hospital bed and my life was about to end. Then I thought, would I be worried and stressed over the things that I currently have on my mind when my time is about to be over? Then my answer was, I highly doubt it. I don't even remember what I ate a week ago, so that means that my current worries that I think are big are actually so small. My suggestion for you is that if you think of your current worries in the spectrum of your own death, you can see that most of your day-to-day worries are insignificant. And you will actually focus on finding ways to get over your worries rather than spending time worrying about things and feeling completely lost. You will start taking actions rather than sitting where you are and getting into a rabbit hole where you constantly get worried about something. One thing that we all want to avoid is to worry about ourselves being worried about the particular thing. And it just goes on and it will never end once we get sucked into it. Number 3. Find something that takes your mind off things. I created a habit that if I start to feel that I'm worried about something, that's when I grab a book and start reading. Reading books for me is like meditation, and it calms my mind peacefully. This might be different to you, like you might find peace within yourself by drawing, jogging, talking to friends, writing, or working out. So please take your time to find things that you feel relaxed, focused, and excited, that you forget about those small worries that you have within yourself. Like I said at the beginning of this video, it's natural to worry about things, and worries can cause positive effects. Like if I don't have anything to eat at home, then I worry and probably complain that I have no food at home. But this worry becomes a trigger and it urges me to go to a supermarket and buy some food for the sake of my own hunger. But it's also important to manage our worries and really pick what we actually care about and don't give a what we don't care about. We focus better when we have fewer worries on our plate, and I hope the perspectives and the action that I talked about in this video will help you manage your worries and anxieties moving forward. That's the end of the video today. I hope you guys enjoyed this topic. If you like this video, please give this video a thumbs up, because when you hit the like button, the YouTube algorithm helps my channel grow and reach people who are interested in the topics that I discuss on my channel. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please consider subscribing. Then I will keep striving to create videos that are worth your time. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know in the comment section below. Then I will see you guys later. Bye!